Welcome everyone to the All Effin' Wrestling Show, and it's a good day because I got my popcorn, I got my soda, and we're ready to rock and roll. You guys ready for some movies?
Let's do it.
Where the hell's the intro?
I'm here, Randy. I'm finally here. That's from the wrestler. I'm here, Randy.
Who wants to be the lion?
Coming to you live from the effing worldwide media studios located in parts unknown.
It's the All Effin' Wrestling Show.
With your hosts, Canada Dry, in the JFB.
Tell me how it's priced. Tell me if the item is for sale. And tell me.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. It is a great day to be alive. It is another day to do a podcast. It's the All Effin' Wrestling Show. I am, of course, your host, Gannon Effin' Dry. I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Gannon Effin' Dry, of course. Performing the role of JFB is my good friend, EVP Joe. Introduce yourself, fine sir.
Well, it's me. It's that EVP. Here to talk some news, talk some wrestling, talk movies. I mean, what more could we do on a Sunday afternoon?
Of course, we have our Christopher Lloyd knockoff. It is Alex Haney. Say hello, Alex.
Hello. Happy Revenge of the 5th.
Revenge of the 5th. That's a good one. I think maybe that can catch on.
Yes.
I think this November, like that was the least hyped May the 4th be with you ever. Like everyone's just like sick of it.
No, it was massive. It was massive.
It was massive.
You just weren't paying attention about it.
My son had a friend's birthday party yesterday, and it was a Star Wars theme for May the 4th.
I was fortunate 2 years ago to be in Orlando for it, and it was awesome. And I'm flying. Well, I won't be able to make the podcast this week, so you'll be happy with that because this time next week I'll be landing in Orlando.
Orlando Jordan.
Orlando Jordan. But was
landing in Orlando Jordan.
Yes.
So
of course. We have to acknowledge our Showtime king.
Yeah. I'm the king, Caleb. Away you go. None of that king nonsense. I'm the only king around here.
Showtime king.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you, my butler.
Now, Showtime Shane isn't a king to anyone but Caleb.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really frame
I got a question. Shane,
Yeah.
why are you wearing the butler hat?
Yeah.
That's the king hat.
Butler's wearing the top hat all the time.
Now, before we get into the news,
I gotta say quickly though, I could have used Caleb about 2 minutes ago, right before you went to intro. I kicked my stand, holding my phone and my drink, dumped the drink on my ground. So I'm quickly running around trying to dry up the freaking shit I drank right before the intro ended. That's why you kind of see me scrambling back and forth from the picture. But at least it's good to see we're live right now, not like the technical dip.
Whoa, that never happened. That never
But we forgot to say, hey, the closer, Showtime Shane is here too. So, howdy, folks, on the Sunday.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. We got some news coming straight out of wrestling land. Let's play the intro.
From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB.
We have someone backstage. Yes, indeed. It is Shane's butler.
What's up, everybody?
How are you doing? You were on trial this morning.
I know I heard about that news.
Yeah.
You know why you were on trial?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you want to tell everybody why you were in my car cleaning it when I didn't ask you? Besides the fact you were in my car somehow without pants?
Let's keep this PG, guys. Come on now.
Yes, damn no. I was cleaning the car this
Yes,
morning.
but you were vindicated though. You won the trial. You're innocent. So Showtime Shane has nothing to say. Like, I think you're a good butler. He's pissed off. He's just walking off.
No, that was because my towel fell over the one I was using to dry everything up.
Caleb,
So
what's better, Transformers or the GoBots?
Seeing they're doing awesome boss, this is my favorite thing to do is helping my teen, my lord.
Yeah, Shane is your. Now I got to ask you, Caleb, if you had to choose, because I've been dying to ask this question for a long time to you. If you had to choose professional wrestling or Power Rangers, what are you choosing? You only get to pick one.
Oh, geez, one.
You are on a. May I remind you, you are on a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, I love wrestling.
Yeah, that's probably the smart choice.
But you know what? As my butler, you can't talk about Power Rangers again to any of us for the next, what is it now? 5? Yeah, till Friday. Yeah, so you can't even mention Power Rangers.
Oh,
Or that's a strike against me, buddy.
oh.
That's for crapping in my car when you weren't even supposed to be in my car. That's breaking entry, Caleb. As far as I'm concerned, I could have easily.
But his
filed a
his motives were pure. He just messed up.
Go Power Rangers!
So yeah,
He may mention Power Rangers. He may not.
But yeah, Caleb,
Power Rangers!
unless you want to face immediate suspension, you're not allowed to talk about Power Rangers until next Friday, and then like after SmackDown.
Do you accept that, Caleb?
Yes, my teen.
All right.
No, just say King. I please stop saying my. Just say King, please.
Anyways, let's get into the news. What do we got, GM Joe?
Okay, I guess we want to start off with more lighthearted and upbeat stuff before we get to the serious stuff. So, first item:
The releases.
Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre over the last week has re-signed with the WWE, which is, I'm sure, is a surprise to absolutely nobody that they re-signed. It makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, Drew and Seth, those guys are humongous stars in the world wrestling entertainment.
And let's look at the work Drew did after he got fired just to get back. He didn't have plans to be elsewhere. He was training to get back to the WWE eventually when he was on that run with Impact or killing it in the Indies. Like you could tell, he had one main goal, and that was just to go back to the WWE eventually.
Well, that was before AEW even existed, though.
And I guess that's true. But he was friends with. He was supposed to be a Bullet Club member, like with his last night in UK before WWE signed him. The Bucks gave him a Bullet Club shirt at the UK, whatever that Evolve or whatever it was event, and he was getting
basically. He needed toilet paper and there was none there, so he just wiped his ass with it.
Yeah.
Caleb, what do you think of Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins resigning?
I am happy for both of them because they're part in WWE since 10 years.
Which one do you like better, Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins?
Drew McIntyre, I'll talk to him one-on-one.
Who?
Drew McIntyre.
Oh, Drew McIntyre's the best, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of Seth, did you guys see his picture at the Kentucky Derby? It looks like he shaved his head.
Well, but then again, he's wearing a top hat. He could have had it hidden well in the hat. But
Yeah.
Seth at least fit the theme for the Kentucky Derby. I still like to know what the hell Becky was trying to wear. It was definitely not a Kentucky themed Derby themed shirt outfit with bright
They
silver
are
and
just being outrageously just fashion questionable on
Yeah.
purpose.
Well, that's what they do at the Kentucky Derby. You should
Yeah.
see some of the hats these people wear. It's
Well,
Yeah.
I know the girls. I've never seen anybody wear reflective gear though. That's the thing. I'm like, man, she's sitting in the front row. That's a distraction for the horses. The sun bouncing off and
Yep.
going right into the horses' eyes and crap like that. So I
The
hope
horse
they kept her as far-
clearly she put in a bet and was trying to influence the outcome.
Oh, yeah.
Tell
What do
me
we got
to
next?
go, guys.
What'd you say?
Tell me to go.
You have to go?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you
See you
later.
Have a good
Later,
day,
my
Caleb.
butler.
Well, that was nice of your butler to call.
Yeah. He's just got to drop the "my king." He's got to stop saying the words "my
I
king."
think it doesn't really matter. Come on. You're getting
No, but
hard.
that just creeps me out.
Okay. We can see as he wanted to date you before.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I don't want to hear the "my" part.
I get it.
We're going to be having a Me Too movement in a matter of moments.
Hash brown, me too.
Well, you're being what was it? I mean, you can't say Me Too anymore because that doesn't fit the narrative. You needed something like, I don't know, the Me Too movement or the U2 movement.
Us too movement.
The streets have no names.
That reminds me of the episode of South Park where what was it? What was it? The poo, and it was
Yeah.
Bono.
Mr. Hickey.
Yeah.
All right, what we got next, EVP Joe?
Up next, the newest member of the Bloodline debuted last night. Tongaloa from New Japan, who is Tama Tonga's brother, better known as by most WWE fans as Camacho.
Oh,
That's right.
Horrible racist gimmick where all he did was ride a bike around.
That's exactly my word. And they made him Hispanic. He wasn't even like he was playing Samoan or Tongan. He was playing
Were
a
they part of the
Hispanic.
Mexico? Is that what they were?
Or no, he had
he wasn't part of the Mexicals. He was
No,
no,
something
but he was part of.
another
He was
gimmick.
yeah, he was like a manager or sidekick to a Mexican guy at the time. Camacho, maybe I can't remember the name of the guy. He was actually
Hunico.
always
Was it?
that's
You
it. Unico.
But was it? Yokozuna wasn't Japanese, and
I know.
Nikolai Koloff wasn't Russian, and you
Yes,
know,
but that means that Shane Yashihara
don't know who
could be
that
a
guy is.
Samoan. Am I saying your name right? Yashihara?
Yeah, actually, yeah. You probably say it better than I did.
Oh, okay, well, how would you say it?
Yoshihara. I've had white people that've been to Japan correct me how to say it, and I still can't remember it.
That is hilarious. You're getting corrected on how to say your own name.
I know.
Effing white people, I swear. Always
I know,
trying
yeah.
to.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, you know. What was it?
That's why I'm not even white anymore. I give it up.
You're just pale ghost.
I'm giving up my white privilege here on the show. No, not getting to do that.
That would require me to have white privilege to give.
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
Um.
Do we want to comment on this? There's a botch in there.
Oh yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
screwed up his debut. He was hiding under the ring, and was supposed to break up a 3 count. And from the fans' perspective, he gets caught up in the skirting, so the ref just flops like a fish for absolutely no reason. And then,
Well, I know he had his finger in his butt cheeks when the ref flopped like a
yeah,
Well, you got to time that perfectly because if you screw up, you're
Well, it wasn't.
But you know
it
what?
wasn't his.
I'm glad in a sense. If WWE pushes God, like I'll be happy because that's one of my favorite tag teams in New Japan. And if you get God versus the Usos back together again, that in some ways is going to be a dream tag team match. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
want
it's,
them to be
please
called POD.
It'd be just as bad as the Bucks, the stupid super
Oh.
kicks.
What's
Just the super kick.
Now,
Oh,
Alex, are you not a fan of these two wrestlers?
no, I'm talking about when he said the Usos.
No, but are you not?
Oh,
Are you a
yeah.
fan of POD?
No, the other two are the two are awesome when they get going.
Okay.
Well, and especially you got to give the nod to Tama because he was part of the original 4 Bullet Club members too. Which now
Yeah.
officially WWE has all the original Bullet Club members except for Fale.
Yeah, and he doesn't count.
Yeah, no, that's true too. And then like AJ Styles, even if you want to go AJ Styles because he was a leader at one point, so they got quite a few now locked up Bullet Club members.
I
They've got
love
Finn.
how they revisionize history and say that Cody
And,
Rhodes
and,
was the
and they
leader.
also, what was it, McAfee and what was it, Cole mentioned the Bullet Club 3 times on
Yeah, I was
Backlash.
shocked about that too.
So maybe they'll buy the name or some stupid thing like that.
I don't think they will because the simple fact is that AEW is not only using the name, but you got Impact that's got Bullet Club members too. So I don't think that New Japan will.
Let me just say this: that I think it's so cool.
Money talks.
You got Bullet Club
Well,
being mentioned on every program.
Yeah.
New Japan, AEW,
It would be
WWE. Like, it's
cooler
cool.
if Bullet Club was more relevant right now.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Bro,
I know.
it's sad.
You know what? The current state of Bullet Club, it's sad. I will say, like, as a fan, long-time fan, no, I don't like the shape it's in.
I know. I mean, it's quite ironic that AEW's got all the shitty ones,
But
even TNA's got some of the better ones.
Bone Crusher.
even what happened to Cody Hall? He got a bad injury, didn't he? At one point,
Yeah, he got a bad concussion. Cody Hall really suffered a bad concussion many years ago, and it looked like I guess
Scott's son?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was Scott's son because Scott was an unofficial Bullet Club member because Cody was an actual Bullet Club member at one point.
Yeah, I think they probably would have preferred Scott over Cody. Cody was even now. Was it Scott could probably wrestle Cody in the ring?
All right, let's move on. Moving on.
Okay. Next up, Ethan Page is no longer with AEW. I guess he's out working the indies. I guess I'm not sure exactly.
I think WWE would be very smart to snag him.
NXT at least.
He's loaded with charisma.
Yeah.
I think that he's phenomenal talent, and I don't want to see him go back to TNA. I'd rather see him in WWE.
What's wrong with TNA? TNA's.
Well, it's just a move down. You got to move up. It's a stardom thing. It's big eyes on your product. That's all. There's nothing wrong with TNA. It's just
you don't know really with the current management and stuff like that. You don't know what directions officially happening.
Yeah.
I myself would rather probably see Ethan Page go through an NXT program because he's proven himself. And there's times that AEW did give him a nod or gave him a good.
Yeah,
I think a main event with Kenny one time again.
I don't get that. Don't get that mentality. Considering what was it? If he was so great, why didn't AEW do something with him? He was sitting there languishing, doing shitty matches on.
You want to know why? Because he didn't come from WWE and he wasn't a big star from WWE. That's why they didn't do enough of him. They did enough until they got more toys in place. That's what happened. Just like Scorpio's guy, they were building him up, and then all of a sudden, once they started getting more free agents. From the dub and stuff.
Scorpio Sky was they were doing the whole intro for him coming back, and then just
and that disappeared.
He got injured again. That's why.
Yeah. But then
you can't lump Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky in the same thing. Scorpio can't stay healthy. That's his fault.
But they literally put them also in the same program together, man. I was enjoying the program with them two as a team with Dan Lambert and stuff like that. That was pretty enjoyable for me.
And the other thing is as well, North American wrestling fans need to stop referring to these guys as like what was it, like up and coming talent. I mean, even like Tama Tonga, he's 42 for crying out loud. Oh my God, I've got this.
He's middle-aged and crazy, damn it.
As much as WWE's starting to recognize outside talent, they still don't fully embrace it because
No, that's
they
true.
wouldn't say Tama Tonga is an up and coming person
At
if they
42.
were legit interested and actually cared about New Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what
But-
was it? What was it? But that falls on the fan base as well. But, I mean, it's pretty exclusive. You know what was it? It's why. What was it? It's why AEW's audience is so niche as well, because most of them came from watching New Japan. They
Yeah.
didn't watch the
And
WWE,
ROH.
and they all just shifted to AEW, and then they just dropped New Japan like a hot potato. You know.
Yeah, well,
So
let's be honest. Hot potatoes are not fun to hold.
Yeah.
They'll burn your
well, it
hands.
depends if you've
Especially
Well,
when there's tinfoil.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got like asbestos hands, then it's fine, you know.
Yeah, but like, who
Hold a
has
hot potato.
asbestos hands? Who does this? So what do we got next?
Up next, Taz has tweeted out that he needs basically 2 shoulder and 2 hip replacements, but it's not from what you think. It's not from wrestling. It's from him weightlifting, trying to get big. So he's come out and like he's basically saying to today's generation, like, train smarter. There's no need to be banging on these hundreds and thousands of pounds of weight. The game has changed. There's no point for it anymore.
Well, Bret Hart, when he had his stroke, he said that being muscular was like walking around with all this extra weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's
What's
a nigga? What was it? Speaks about it as well. He says that he loves bodybuilding and the life of bodybuilding, but he's now at the age where it's now a hindrance rather than anything. Even though he loves the sport, he can't stop doing it, because if he stops doing it, he'll die.
It's an
Basically,
addiction.
you know, because his body will break down.
You know what? I have my uncle that's now in about mid-60s. He's been Mr. kind of Reuter, jacked up for many years and stuff like that. And he's dead right there, too. It's like he's got no choice but to keep doing testosterone to this day. And even though he doesn't want to work out, he's still got to slightly work out, or his body will just boom, just like that, on the drop of a dime.
Yeah.
So who are you talking about, Alex?
What do you mean? As in that? Who's heard that story?
Yeah, who are you talking about?
Arnold Schwarzenegger spoke
Oh,
about
okay.
it. Yeah.
Arnold.
Arnold.
I'll be back.
Anybody have anything else? I have one more story,
Yeah.
and this is gonna be the biggest story out of all of these.
Oh, I have a feeling where this is going.
So we're gonna talk about some WWE releases, but mostly
Bird.
I want to talk about Drew Gulak. Like, it sucks. Like I think what I can't stand is wrestling fans on the internet are like, when someone releases this list of wrestlers, they're like, "Oh, who are these people? It doesn't matter." I'm like, people just lost their jobs. Like, have a little empathy.
And some of them got families they got to support, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is that everyone was blaming Ronda Rousey. Now, I'm not a Ronda Rousey fan, but she did not deserve the hate that she got out of that.
Oh no.
No.
Like, so
But for her to compare one thing as an extreme when there's actual people in the business that's gone to actually had the extreme happen to them, that's kind of where I think some people were cheesed off too, though.
I mean, but
It's not right. It wasn't right, and the thing that happened to her was not right whatsoever. Not that I'm not saying that either. So, but
Okay, so what the thing is,
my
go
problem.
ahead.
No, I need to get this off of my chest
Okay, go
because
ahead.
my problem is that, especially in our little niche group of friends, there's people saying, "I don't believe Rhonda because of her past," which is complete BS, because that's how men get away with this dumb shit,
Yeah.
because they don't
Yeah.
women, regardless of what they've said in the past. What the hell does Ronda Rousey have to gain from making up a story about Drew Gulak?
Think about the logistics of it as well. He says it was an accident, right? Yeah, and he didn't mean to. He reached out and he touched. He's 6'2". Ronda Rousey's 5'7", right? Yeah. I mean, what was it? What was it? Even if you put your hand out, you know, try and think about it. You know, does it make sense? You know, it's a bullshit. You know,
all I can say though, it's knowing her husband and his history, and he's actually been a decorated fighter. I wouldn't even want to look at Ronda Rousey the wrong. Knowing that no, I'm not kidding when I say that. Like, I would never mess with a man's wife, but especially that somebody that could one punch you, even just punching you in the solar plex, he could probably put you out for a good couple weeks. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with a beast like that.
But to be fair, he only likes hitting women, so it's what was it? Drew would have been fine in that situation.
Yeah.
Well, but let's make this about Drew Gulak. Like he apparently there was an investigation after that, and all sorts of NXT talent came out saying he was bullying them.
Well, and then to find out this old Cody Rhodes story back in 2017, that's been brought back up. See, that's what's funny when you mention too, when somebody gets released and all of a sudden somebody
So we need to correct something here.
They start bringing shit up from the past that people forgot even existed and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't even know Cody Rhodes said that stuff about Drew Gulak about 6 years ago or whatever.
We need to correct something here. Drew Gulak wasn't released. Triple H has come out and said that his contract expired.
Yeah, so that's what we're missing too. This whole contest. There's a press conference. Is he was asked this, and Triple H goes, "Well, you got to." He goes, "Which cheat sheet you believe in?" Like, he's mocking the cheat sheets during this press conference yesterday. Besides, then he goes, "Yeah, no, Drew Gulak wasn't released. He wasn't re-signed." So, but
I just don't believe that story one bit. But that's just a personal thing. But apparently,
like we can only go by what WWE says and what the
you believe Dave Meltzer, the biggest the guy who
not even Dave Meltzer. So
but was no, I mean. But was it? I mean, why say it then? You know, when we had all the other releases, you know, and it doesn't add anything to it. I think it's true. I think it probably just a contract expiry thing.
Well, because we did the same thing with Mustafa Ali last year in NXT. He was ready to go into that huge program for the title, and then boom, he was gone next week when they built up the title, and that was because of the same thing. His contract was coming up, and they weren't going to renew it or whatever.
And he was just a dick to work with. I mean, that's evidence from the news last week around the whole New Japan thing.
We already decided that we don't want to blame people.
Yeah.
For
victim blaming isn't cool like you guys think it is. Okay.
Yeah. Also, at the same time, I think she is a snob and has been full of shit about a lot.
Okay, let's just clear the air. You don't have to like Ronda Rousey to defend what happened to her.
Yeah,
like it's just about being right and being good.
Listen, but this is the thing I hate as well. If that's what happened, if that's what's happened, this is the thing. We can't go throwing about allegations as well. His story doesn't add up.
Well, no, it's not about that. It's about how he behaved overall with the NXT talent being a bully and
hearing him targeting injuries, man, that sounds like a straight asshole, straight up. And there's the fact that Cody Rhodes story about hearing he actually made like a hissy fit scene in front of people and walked away over Cody Rhodes having a lineup and giving out free pizza. Like that does show his character.
What amazes me is this the guy that Bryan Danielson endorsed back in the day.
Yeah, that is very true too.
So
he probably still does.
People change. Yeah. He may not have been like that. This could have just be a recent thing where he's.
Well, that's also people are more than just like being a jerk. Like they could be nice to someone else and be totally cool.
And that's true too. When some people will see some and that's especially with family or close friends. Like
I might see some side of someone and I think they're a great guy, but and Joe's like, no, they're a jerk, and I'm like, oh.
And yes, I am a jerk. Okay.
All right, guys, it's time for the main event. Where the hell is the main event? I'm always having trouble finding this stuff. Oh, wait. Before we do the main event, it's time for the joke of the week.
We have one?
Yeah, we have a joke of the week this week.
Hey, this is Bret the Hitman Hart. Every day, people are mocked because they feel that dad jokes are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. That's messed up. I believe that no one should have to fight for their humor. It's okay to dad joke.
Now, Alec Haney's been messing around with the AI songwriting, and He wrote. He came up with the song for Elvis Martinez, aka Barn Boy. So
Acknowledge him.
yeah, we're acknowledging you right now, Barn Boy. Anything you want to say, Alex?
No, I just look forward to my Grammy.
Okay.
Down in the barn on a hot summer's day, there's a mischievous boy who likes to play with the cows and the chickens. He's a farmhand through and through. But there's a secret he keeps. If only you knew. But there's a secret he keeps. If only you knew. Barn boy, what's that smell? You've been up to something I can surely tell. Stealing and sniffing those old granny's panties. Barn boy blues, you're in a world of fantasy. He sneaks into the house when the sun goes down, searching for treasures not meant to be found. In Granny's drawer, he finds a surprise, a pair of silk panties right before his eyes. Sneaks into the house when the sun goes down, searching for treasures not meant to be found. In Granny's drawer, he finds a surprise, a pair of silk panties right before his eyes. Barn boy, what's that smell? You've been up to something I can surely tell. Stealing and sniffing those old Granny's panties. Barn boy blues, you're in a world of fantasy.
Oh god, that was good.
Now,
You
when you,
outdone
when you,
yourself
when you, now, Haney, when you do these AI songs, what are you typing in?
The lyrics, and it just makes the music to it.
Oh, really? You just pick the music and it kind of makes
You
the song?
wrote that up?
But you just think with it. Yeah, you just write it, you know, and then what was it? You click generate, and it breaks. You put the lyrics in, and then what was it? You tell it what type of music you want. That's how in some of the examples we've been
Oh,
able
wait,
to
so
do
these
different things.
lyrics are yours?
Yes, the lyrics are mine.
Oh,
Yes.
the genius of those lyrics are why.
Dude, that honestly was amazing. Like, I was literally pissing myself laughing while we were off screen listening.
Yeah, I thought the computer generated, but these are your lyrics. Okay.
These are my lyrics. Yes, you can do
Okay.
computer generated, but these are my lyrics. Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. All right,
Yeah.
without further ado, let's get to the main event.
Gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
All right, we're talking the top wrestling movies. We got some documentaries in here. We got some good shows, some good wrestling stories. But first, I want to talk with when you watch a movie. What are you eating? I'm gonna start with Joe. What are you eating when you're watching a movie?
Usually nachos.
Oh,
Or at its simplest, like some Tostitos chips with like a cheese dip. You know, just
what are you drinking?
I prefer a cherry Coke when I watch a movie.
Cherry Coke. All right. Showtime Shane, what are you eating? What are you drinking?
Man, I hardly watch movies these days, but probably, yeah, chips, nachos, or usually I may be ordering a pizza at the same time.
Oh,
But
and your drink of choice?
Budweiser.
Oh, the guy's got a beer in his hand every moment of the day. Alex, what are you drinking? What are you eating?
Hey, this is non-alcoholic for a matter.
Oh, I know. It's not.
Yeah.
It's o'clock
You do,
somewhere.
you do know if you do know that if you drink what was it a rum before 11 o'clock, it doesn't make you an alcoholic. It makes you a pirate.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
alcoholics go to news.
what are you eating a movie, Alex? What are you
It
drinking?
was I'm the same. What was it? Are we talking in the house or at the cinema?
Whatever.
I'm the same as I'm exactly the same as Joe. You know, what was it? Nachos and a cherry coke. The cherry coke over in the States is so much better than the cherry coke over here.
No, I'm gonna go differently. I'm going with a big buttery
Right.
thing of popcorn.
But I bet Mexican cherry coke is better than the States cherry coke. What we're talking.
Yeah,
I
probably.
accidentally bought a cherry 7-Up, and it was horrible. It's just cherry syrup carbonated.
I've had that one, man. It is garbage. You're right.
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't 7-Up at all.
Now here you mentioned a big buttery bucket of what was it? Popcorn. See, that's something that's not very popular over here in the UK. We tend to like sweet. We tend to like sweet popcorn. But was it most of the cinemas don't when you go to a cinema? Well, what was it? Buying food at a cinema now, I don't recommend doing because you need to remortgage your house to be able to afford that.
That's the way it is out here.
And of course, you need the carbonated. Like, I like Coca-Cola when it's not bottled. I like it
Off the
because it's less
tap.
syrupy.
You're right.
Yes.
Just like McDonald's fountain Coke is better than most other fountain Coke too, or whatever.
Oh,
the
I like fountain Coke better than.
Do you know why McDonald's Coke is better than other Cokes?
What?
They have their own blend of syrup. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like every other Coke.
And it's like
Yeah,
Wendy's,
this is
Wendy's has
McDonald's
their own blend
compared to
too.
Coca-Cola.
Yes, and here's another interesting fact for you about Coca-Cola. But was it Disney? Obviously, but was it it's got Coca-Cola through its whole sort of parks. Coca-Cola take no money from Disney, right? What was it to have their product? It's 100% Disney. What was it profit? But it's just the fact
they don't even buy the syrup.
they provide the syrup for free because the advertisement is just massive.
Oh yeah, that's brilliant.
exactly. That makes sense. Yeah,
And you're looking at $10 for a big thing of Coke there.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of popcorn, though, let's not forget Caleb likes to play popcorn surprise with himself.
Oh,
I
jeez.
don't even want to know.
Okay, I got two things real quick. One, the movie theaters in Canada, do you guys have the butter outside where you can put your own butter on the popcorn?
No, we have to get it from the clerk and pay extra.
But it's not butter. It's Bacel.
Oh yeah.
But the butter you can pay extra for.
What is Bacel, like fake butter or something?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't believe it's not butter. Yeah,
the very first time I went to the cinema in the States, the person was in front of us, and I know what was I don't know what Joe's like with the popcorn, but the guys just at the butter can take the thing when he's just going scoosh, 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 scoosh.
Oh yeah, the sticky floor. All right, let's get into our
I've
first
seen that
movie.
hack though. You put the straw in, and then you put in the butter through the straw so it gets to the bottom too.
Let's get into our first movies here. These are in no order, but I think I'm going to go with this one first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ready to Rumble. This is probably the best comedic wrestling movie.
Jimmy King.
Yeah. This is probably the most successful thing WCW was ever a part of.
Ironically, it wasn't a success. It bombed, which is a shame because it's an absolute amazing movie.
Let me say, you cracking your knuckles was so loud right there.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what though? They did bring in the triple cage for that movie when they haven't had the triple cage in sight for years, which led to bringing the triple cage back for WCW. So there was a nice parlay there. But unfortunately, you had other parlays from stars of the movie entering WCW after this movie. But it was a great
feel like
movie.
this movie is more of a cult classic than a success at the box office.
It absolutely is.
That's the best way to put it.
I mean, who can forget? Who can forget some of the characters in that movie? It's just like phenomenal. You know,
I love Oliver Platt. He's a great actor, comedic actor, and this was another sign of like great comedic acting. The role he played in that.
So I don't know if you guys remember what would Jesus do bracelets that were going around at this time.
Yeah.
Yep.
What would Jamie?
And they replaced it. What would King do?
Gordy Boogs.
So, as much as a bad thing came out of it of David Arquette winning the world title in WCW, but honestly, like, this movie is what got him to actually become a legitimate wrestler. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but he
20
actually
years
trains and
later.
wrestles the indies now. Like, he says he gained such a profound respect for wrestlers from this whole ordeal.
He almost died 4 or 5 years ago doing a GCW match or whatever it was. He did a death match and almost had his like jugular sliced.
Yeah.
Pizza cutters. Don't use them.
Oh, it was a light bulb. It was a light bulb accident.
Light bulb or light tube?
Light tube. Sorry. Yeah. There's a basic difference between the two.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on to a documentary, The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts. So this movie takes place, it starts off, Jake Roberts is in his like shitty house. It's just a sad state of affairs. Garbage is everywhere. Jake can't walk. And DDP comes in there and just pretty much starts kicking his ass into becoming a regular person again. I firmly think that if DDP didn't come in there, Jake would not be alive right now.
That's a great assessment. Like, there's no other way around that one. No, you're right. Absolutely. Because even back with other documentaries, back in the late 90s, he was in bad shape, addicted to crack and all that other stuff. So
I mean, he wasn't a nice man as well. I mean, and I don't mean this in a bad way, because it's also it's changed his life, But if there was ever a man that didn't deserve a redemption story, it was Jake the Snake, because he some of the stuff that he did, during that period of time. But then again, look
who his father was, though. There's that explains a lot. His whole family was abused. Look what happened to his sister that he's never talked to.
His brother ended up in jail as well, I think, didn't he?
Yeah.
What was his brother's name?
They were all in the WWF too. That was funny.
That cowboy gimmick with the dancing, or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
But it just goes to prove everybody's entitled to that second shot at life. I don't mean that to sound in a nasty way.
Well, I think like any chance, like redemption and grace.
He just cut out. He just disappeared as he said that.
Yeah, I think like the redemption and grace stories are amazing. And to me, this documentary is probably like one of the best documentaries I've ever seen in professional wrestling. You got any thoughts on this, Joe?
Yeah, like, it's just, I don't know how to put it into words. Like, it's obviously it's very eye-opening. It just shines a light, because they're saying if there's one, there's a million. So Jake Roberts isn't the only one with this story of what was going on at this time in wrestling. So it definitely makes you, like, if it doesn't make you feel sympathy for what happened, like, I just feel like you probably don't have a pulse.
Yeah. Alex Scott.
Yeah, right when he finished his last comedy, all of a sudden went poof and disappeared.
No, I think he had the sentence there. So
sorry, I forgot to put 50 pence in the meter.
Oh yeah, you got to do that. We're gonna move on to our next movie, Fighting with My Family. This is the Paige story, Soraya story. If you're AEW, I think this woman did an amazing acting job. Like, I don't know if she's been in anything else, but she killed it.
Yeah.
Like Alex, you're familiar with this wrestling family, right?
Yeah, they're pretty much like one of the sort of royal families of sort of British wrestling, but they're synonymous with British wrestling. Our mother in particular. They've got some trouble in the past as well. They've involved various things, but they're in the wrestling community, they're very well respected. And Saraya? She's been wrestling since she was about 13. So it's just unfortunate her career's been cut so short. I don't even count. What was it? What happened last year at all, and things like that. That was more of a. What was it? Let's give her that moment. You know.
Yeah.
What was it?
Pity
So
kinda-
She's
protected.
not wrestling full time. Like she wrestles.
She was so protected in that match. It was unbelievable to see what she used to be. To what she's able to do now is heartbreaking. You know, she deserves it. But yeah, it was a bittersweet moment to see that live. You know,
I
because
would
she
love
was.
to see a Mercedes Monet and
Oh, please don't.
Yeah. But you know what? It's one thing we forgot to mention too. This was one of Rock's first big productions in the movie industry. Like that's just when he started translating from not only from an actor, but his own kind of production company and all
Was
that.
this under the $7 production company?
I can't remember. I know Rock did have a major role, and not just like his cameo in the movie
Yeah, no, he
itself.
has like director or producer.
Yeah.
credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think she wasn't even wrestling when this movie came out though.
What was it when they were making it? She was, but by the time it came out, she had a big injury, and that was it. It was sort of blown, you know. What was it?
Yeah,
it was
what
sort of
about that
gone.
GM role or whatever, or Absolute Mandy Rose in
Was it that, or she was managing the Kabuki Warriors?
one of the two? Yeah, I tried to.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did do a couple management roles actually, besides Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. That's the name I was looking for.
Oh yeah.
To me, this is the start of. I didn't even know that there was a version where it's got the life and death of Owen Hart in it. But
I never even knew that existed either. I only knew about this movie because it was all over our local.
yeah, I guess
TV.
this is like a little side section that you can watch.
Best wrestling documentary of all times.
To me, yeah, it's really the start of real good wrestling documentaries. Before this, they didn't really exist.
Well, Beyond the Mat, but that was the only one. But it was not even.
Yeah, I think Beyond the Mat even came after this, though.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
This documentary is the reason why I think the screw job was a work. Because the whole thing.
I just want to say that I got you this hat, Alex Haney.
Yeah. See, the thing is, what was it? The whole thing just sniffs of like here's a thing for you, right? See the famous bit where what was it? Brett does the WCW sign.
Yeah.
And he spits in Vince's face, right? Yeah. That wasn't on the pay-per-view.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was shot after the cameras went off.
Well, yeah. Why would you show that? You don't want
At the
that.
same
Why
time,
was it in the
man,
documentary? Why was it in the documentary?
if it was a work, then his wife at the time did a good job grilling wrestlers standing outside the lawn. She was grilling Hawk, Triple H, and they're like, bullshit, you guys didn't know. You look at the guilt on your face. You could swear to God all you want. You knew something and stuff
You're
like that.
gonna have to answer to him one day.
Yeah, and she was just like, and you could just see Hawk and Triple H just looking straight down to the ground like that while she's just grilling. So if this was a work, then that was some amazing acting for that documentary. That's definitely
and walking down the hall, all staggering with the black eye. That was amazing.
see, all that seems sort of like, and then all of a sudden the cameras in the dressing room, and the cameras out in the dressing room, and the incident happens with him and Vince and blah blah blah. You know, yeah. But was it? Vince was a businessman.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
My apologies.
Right, you do that one more time, and I'm going to hack your show.
Oh, sorry.
And I'm going to
you're gonna hack your show.
Yes. I'm going. Right. Okay. Don't do it again.
Right.
Yeah, boss wanker. Right. I've lost my train of thought. The fact that God, you made me lose my train of thought now. Yeah, the fact that right, that was I'll see you next Tuesday, right?
I will see you next Tuesday.
Right. What was it? The fact that the bit with Vince didn't. What was it? What was it in the dressing room? Why would Vince not let him in the dressing room? You know, what was it called? What was it? With the supposed broken ankle and the black eye and all that. You know, and all of a sudden Vince is out and about again. Ironically, he just done a storyline where he was in a wheelchair, pretending to have a broken leg. You know, and then all of a sudden he's got another broken ankle. Nah. But was I think it was it's a good mockumentary.
Alex, I just want to know, do you also believe that man never landed on the moon?
I'm not touching that one right now. Or we could be going for we could be going forever.
I think I'd love that Buzz Aldrin went to somebody came to his house and just knocked him out because he said that.
Yeah, that's right. He tried to attack somebody like in the White House or like courthouse or something like that when they said that.
But that's what a liar would do, you know.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. To protect the image. Yeah, you're right.
What do you think on this EVP, Joe?
I mean, it's a story that we've heard a million times. I really don't have much to say.
No, but what do you think of the documentary itself?
I mean, it's been so long, I don't even really remember this documentary. Like I said, but we all know the story behind it. WWE won't let it die. So every time they go to Montreal, there's someone getting sharpshooter.
And you know who else won't let it die? Is Russo and Cornette. They're still debating on who actually came up with the screwdriver idea to begin with for Vince.
Cornette's like, I screwed over Brett.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. That proves you've never actually listened to what Cornette.
I heard him say that he came up with the idea.
No,
and then I've heard Russo do the rebuttal too. I've heard the story right from Cornette's mouth, and then I heard Russo's version right out of his mouth.
Cornette didn't say it that way. You're taking the whole story out of context.
You're right. I kind of am taking the whole story out of context.
Yeah, what Cornette said is they were supposedly in a room weeks before it.
Oh no, he was at Vince's house, Vince's poolside.
Yeah, they were in a room weeks before it. And they were getting nowhere. What was it? And Vince says, "Well, what was it? What would you? What was it? Just sort of like blatantly because they were getting pissed off. What would you do?" And what was it? Cornette says he remembered what was it, a screw job from like the 50s, you know, and he mentioned it. Great. And that was the last. That was the last he had heard of it until what was it happened. You know, it was never spoken of again. You know, it was just like it laid out how you do it, and it wasn't even laid out exactly the same way as they did it. So
let me just mention that I love Cornette chips. Cornette chips are great when I watch a movie.
I don't even know what the hell those are.
They're not real. I just made them up.
Yeah, just like he makes up. He listens to the Jim Cornette podcast. You know.
Let's move on to our next movie.
You can keep showing your flashlight on screen, you know. What was it?
That's a homemade one. This movie, Iron Claw. I'm a little iffy on this. I'm not a fan of the way the whole thing was portrayed.
It's not even the whole story.
Like things being Hollywoodified.
Yeah.
No,
especially the fact that they killed off a brother before the movie even started. They took out one of the deaths because we don't, because it was so similar to the other brothers' death. Like, we don't want to tell this story twice into the movie. So,
I mean, but to be fair, like, that's the story of the Von Erichs. It's just the tragedy that surrounds them.
Oh man! And I saw that clip today. I was rewatching some of the clip. I saw the clip where Carrie was sitting there and his two boys are playing, and he's just crying away. And they're like, "What's wrong, Dad?" He goes, "I used to have brothers, or I used to be a brother." And I was oh God, that ruined my Sunday morning right there.
I mean, what's even worse is they killed off MJF spot in it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only had a few moments on the screen.
Yeah, because he played the keyfabe cousin or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So
No, these things are. I mean, these things are difficult to do. What was it? The difficult thing with that movie is you had a guy who had what was it, and a biographer who both loved the Von Erichs, and to tell the
Yeah.
real Von Erich story, basically what you have to you basically have to come out and say the dad was a right arsehole, you know,
yeah,
he was an
They
absolute
made it
scumbag,
noticeable.
right?
Yeah.
And they didn't want to, but was it change that narrative? So that's the real reason it's like it is, you know.
well, he's not as big as dick as he is in real life, though.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like they
No,
didn't.
I mean, he was a vile, he was a vile human being. If you actually go read about what some of the stuff, you know, it's like
Yeah.
it's like Brian Wilson of the Beach Boy. What was it? What was it? I know it's not wrestling related. His biography is fascinating read. His father is was absolutely horrific. What he used to do. The reason Brian was deaf in 1 year is because his dad clubbed him. We
That's
used
right.
to beat him up with a thing. If he did something wrong, what was it? He made them defecate at the dinner table in front of the family.
That's messed up.
You know,
Yeah.
so
That explains why he ended up the way he was. Brian Wilson, we're talking about.
Yeah, you know, and what was it called? And then you've got to. I mean, mental health is such a serious thing.
Yeah.
What was it? It's easy to put these suicides into sort of what was it wrestling domain, you know, but there was probably a lot of contributing factors that made the men make the choice, you know. And
To me, this movie though, it was way overhyped and it had nowhere to go but disappointment.
That's the problem. When you get something so hyped up, it's so hard to live up to the expectations. There's one movie though I did live to the hype. I'm not going to mention yet, but yeah, you know, and it is still crazy. The fact that, yeah, we'll save that for. But it's crazy to think. Yeah, but it's crazy to think that if like Von Erichs didn't start without Stu Hart. That's the craziest thing about this whole story. This story would have never happened if Fitz never was spotted by Stu and being trained in the dungeon, man. Like, that is absolutely crazy how it started in the dungeon.
Do I smell a sequel to Hart Family Dungeon?
You know what? That should have actually been the first movie.
That would be a killer movie.
That's also the mark of me being a longtime Hart Family fan.
I think the big challenge would be being able to include Owen.
Well, and also too Stu. Like, you got to portray Stu like an asshole. He wasn't exactly a nice guy himself.
I think Stu was
not an asshole. Asshole's the wrong way. He's more a hard ass, not an asshole. That was a worst way to put it. He was more,
you've got to tell that story. You've got to then go into how much of a arsehole Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith were. You know, they were absolute scumbags. What was it called? You've got to go on about like Smithy and things like that. They weren't very nice people. You know, but was it? We look at Owen and Brett.
Yeah.
You're moving on now because you don't want the story to.
No, we're almost in an hour here. Let's talk about The Wrestler. Like, to me, this is the greatest wrestling movie ever made.
My top 5 movies ever made.
You're gonna put it as top 5 movies ever made.
All time for me, yeah. For me, yeah.
Like it captures what it is to be a wrestler. Because once that glory is done, like, you got him sitting there playing his own Nintendo game with some kid who's just like, okay.
Working at a supermarket, which is how John Tenta was literally, he was working as a salesman at a suit out of the Bay, I think, or something, selling suits of the big and tall section. So literally, the Wrestler's story is a lot of paradox of what happened, and John Tenta was a prime example. Like,
there's lots of examples like that as well. Was it not Mr. Fuji that ended up working at a theater or something like that?
Yeah, just for benefits. Tony Schiavone took a job at Starbucks for benefits after his career. Like, and he wasn't even a wrestler; he was an announcer.
He's even an announcer.
Announcer.
I think what amplifies this movie is this movie came out weeks before the Chris Benoit story.
You're right. That's true. I forgot all
a few weeks later, it was Benoit who, and we Everyone knows that story. We're not going
Oh,
to rehash
and I
it.
think too, this was the redemption tour for Mickey Rourke. He fallen far from grace, just like many literally, it's almost his life story mixed with a professional wrestler. He fell far from grace. He was like, and had all his problems, and then next thing you know, this movie brought him right back to stardom all over again. Because if this movie, did he didn't get the stardom from this movie, he would never ended up in Expendables and some of the other movies he ended up in after.
And you
shortly
had
after.
you just portrayed on WWE television with Chris Jericho. They had the
Ironically, you know why? You know why Mickey Rourke did not wrestle Chris Jericho?
Go ahead.
Because he was portraying Whiplash in Iron Man 2, and they would not let him wrestle for fear of getting injured.
Oh yeah.
There was also
the Jericho against the old timers.
There was also
it was basically the story of Rowdy Piper, Ricky Steamboat, and I think Sergeant Slaughter were defending the honor of the movie.
Yeah.
But to be fair, then at Backlash, they got an awesome match between Jericho and Ricky Steamboat out of it. So.
And the other reason as well was around the Oscars. Basically, what was it? They found out about the match as well. So there was a number of contributing factors, but obviously that's the reason he didn't wrestle. But the cat was out of the bag with Jericho because they couldn't keep his mouth shut either. You know, that was meant to be. But was it would have happened if Jericho hadn't opened his mouth, probably. Well, maybe not, but it was what was it? And that led to the last great Roddy Piper promo, which was absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the best promos you can ever see in your life. Is that promo with him and Chris Jericho? Just absolutely amazing. And it just proved that nobody could touch Roddy on the mic. Nobody could touch Roddy on the mic.
But yeah, back to that movie though, man, there was so much touching things too with the family because it was almost part of Jake Roberts, because Jake Roberts showed that part in Beyond the Mat where like he did not have a good relationship with his daughter whatsoever, which then just paralleled with Mickey Rourke's character, Ram Jam's character having
what was the girl's name that plays the stripper?
But that's what I'm trying to remember because that brought her career back. She was another person that disappeared from Hollywood for a long time. And I thought not only did she nail the character, she was absolutely stunning for her age in that movie too. Like, just that whole Marissa Tomei, yeah. Like, I'm a big fan of hers. Like, I remember, what was it? My Cousin Vinny or something like that she did back
in the day. Remember George Costanza almost had a date with her, but he was engaged.
Yeah. but just that scene near the end where she like kept rejecting him, then finally like, Randy, I'm here. And then Randy at this point is so broken that like he goes, well, it's kind of too late for you, bitch. And it just is like, those are the ones that still love me to this day. Like, there's a lot of things that people can actually relate to this whole movie besides the wrestling factor.
I really want to rewatch this wrestler movie just because it's been so long.
It's been a while for me, but it's literally one of those. Like I said, it is my top 5 favorites. It's just one of those movies that gets me every time.
It's got one of the best soundtracks as well ever. I mean,
that's exactly it too.
You've got the boss, Bruce Springsteen, with the wrestler. What was it? The
wrestler. The song was The Wrestler. Yeah, that was a decent song for the boss.
This whole movie was the first wrestling movie that was taken seriously as a legit drama.
Well, yeah, when you had Ready to Rumble, was one of the most. This was a major
movies like Nacho Libre before that too.
It is amazing, like how many awards this movie won.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
Given what Hollywood thinks of wrestling. And that goes back the simple fact that people thought that Mickey Rourke wouldn't win these awards if he actually did a wrestling match. Like, that's how little Hollywood thought of wrestling.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? We're not giving enough credit to other people involved in this movie. Like Ernest the Cat Miller played a good, he wasn't known as an actor. And he did it, even though he didn't play many scenes. He really was a decent actor for this movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what I find ironic
that contributed to like the indie scenes, like the dressing.
CCWROA. Yeah.
What I find ironic about this episode today is JFB would have loved to have been a part of this.
Can I make
but
a
he's never.
suggestion for our next show?
What does GFB know about movies? Come on,
I don't know. He's a filmmaker. I don't know.
Precisely.
Filmmakers don't know about movies. Fans know
No, they
about
don't.
movies.
When you
You
pitched
know.
this idea to me, I thought we were doing like movies with wrestlers in it.
Yeah,
I think that should be one of our next topics. Like,
Yeah,
not
Yeah, I
wrestling
think
teaming
like what I want JFB to be part of that, so we can include They Live and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Andre the
yeah. I
Giant.
was
Too.
gonna say, we know what
basically-
Haney's did. We know Haney's choices would probably be with wrestlers involved
Yeah,
in movies for
But
sure.
basically, he took my idea and he just tweaked it. You know, so that wasn't my idea anymore. But,
That's what the best. That's what the best bookers do. They take someone else's idea and they twist it and make it better.
Well, I
But,
guess though, that technically now we could use the wrestler again because Ernest the Cat Miller and a few other wrestlers were in it.
Well, you know what? The Japanese always took other people's inventions and just made them better.
well, the
Oh, yeah.
Japanese, the Japanese have got some amazing. What was it? Wrestling movies that. What was it? That need to be thing. What was it? They've got the one. What was it? I'm trying to remember the name of it now. They've got a few. What was it? Great. What was it? Wrestling movies in Japan, and there's some great anime ones as well. Worth checking out. What was it?
I've
There's the one
heard
with
that too.
Takahashi. You know, he plays like a heel. You know, and then there's the one he's like the dad, and the kids like he's figuring out his dad's a bad guy sort of thing. There's lots of the good one. It's ironic as well because at the beginning when we were talking about Ready to Rumble. If you think about it, we were mocking it, you know, and how it doesn't relate to wrestling. But Ready to Rumble was so the Attitude Era, you know, in every way with the story and things like that. And that was the perception of what wrestling was at the time. You know,
there's one honorable mention we've got to mention. Like, he didn't do a wrestling. Well, he's done actually wrestling shows that were on Star or whatever. Stephen Amell. I got to give him an honorable mention while we're on this topic because he was a true guy. Loved wrestling, and the fact that he was in the All In pay-per-view against Christopher Daniels, the original All In, that was pretty amazing. Besides the fact he had that feud with Cody or whatever.
He had a match before. He had a match in WWE as well.
Yeah,
it was him in
Stardust.
Oh, it was Stardust.
It was him and Neville before.
Oh,
it was him and Neville versus Stardust and Wade Barrett.
And that's how him and Cody Rhodes end up becoming good, like pretty close friends. Right now, I think they still part ownership of a winery or whatever. That's where, and then
well, Stephen Amell has his own wine.
Yeah, that's what it was. But then Cody had his own wine through that business or whatever at that one point and whatnot. Triple Point or something like that. But no, I gotta say, like when we're on that subject, I had to give him an honorable mention because he's done a lot for the wrestling community himself as an actor, especially with that show. I can't even remember Heels.
Yep, yeah, it's on AMC, I think.
We get it on
Stars, maybe. Yeah,
that's a channel I'm not going to pay extra for.
It's not really well. I suppose you call it more of a boxing movie than a thing. But this is a different one, and it's the Hugh Jackman one with and I'm telling this story for a reason, with the robot. Was it Real Steel? So, what was it? Me and Fiona are in the cinema watching that, and what was it? Have you seen the movie?
No.
Right. What was it? And I'm watching it. I'm sitting the way through it, and I'm thinking, I've seen this film before. I've seen this before, and we're getting to the net. And I hate people like what was it? Like speaking in the cinema and things like that. And I don't know why I did it, but I'm sitting in the cinema, I'm watching it, and I'm getting to the end of the film, and then I just for some reason turn around to what was it? Fiona and go, "Fuck off! They're doing the Rocky ending." and what was it? That's exactly what they did. And I went, and she's like, "Shh."
All right, guys, that's it for us here.
Oh, I love this.
We thank you for watching. Of course, if you want to support us, there's lots of shirts you can buy. Sharpshooter Action. We got the Hot Wheels shirt. We got the Shades of Excellence shirt. We got this one that our good buddy Showtime Shane was modeling earlier in the week. You got a lot of flack for that, right?
I guess officially Natalie wore it better than me. Or Natalia. Sorry. Oh, I shouldn't call her Natalie. Natalia wore it better than me.
Yeah, you got voted out on that one. But, you know, the board thinks that you tried. If you want to support us in any financial way, you can hit the link below, and that'll take you to our PayPal. That's Big Shiny Matrix at hotmail.com. Will take you to our PayPal.
Support us so I can finally get a paycheck. No, just kidding.
Yeah, you want a paycheck. We're gonna need a lot of money rolling in.
What's on your t-shirt, Joe? I can see America. Is it America?
It's no, my shirt says, "I'm sorry, I thought this was America." It's a
good tribute to Randy Marsh. Yes.
That's quite a shirt for a Marine to wear.
Yes. I have quite a few shirts that I will not wear on this channel because I don't want to get you demonetized. But I have one that says, "Nobody says we need an AR-15. Well, no one says we need a whiny little bitch, but here you are."
I love it.
Another one that says like 9mm, 45, 5.56. It lists a whole bunch of rounds and says all quicker than calling a cop.
Like Happy Gilmore's guns don't kill people. I kill people.
Let's end this subject here. Guns don't unalive people. Husbands who come home early.
Yes. So here's an So here's an interesting one. Have you what was it? Nerf guns. What was it? Are kids allowed to run about with Nerf guns now?
Wait, what was it? What did you say?
You know the Nerf guns with the guns with the plastic sort of foam bullets.
Yep.
There's a movement to get them sort of, and it's like, what just kids play?
I really think the Super Soaker is better than the Nerf guns.
We were just talking about that the other day. The inventor.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Super Soaker up here, Nerf guns down here.
I mean, just from a pure ammo perspective, a Super Soaker, you don't have to reload as much as a Nerf gun.
No,
that's true. Unless you had an ammo case like I do when me and my nieces were playing.
I mean, but then you have to go and pick them all up and reload them.
Oh, yeah.
So much work.
Oh, no, I got hurt with the Nerf bullet.
Hey, Super Soakers, I remember having multiple bottles just so I didn't have to quickly go fill it up with a hose. They're like,
you know what I had as a kid? I had a Nerf gun that had like a 5-gallon bucket on the back, like a strap. Like, think of like old school flamethrowers. You know how but it was water, so you could just sit there and pump and just
now. If you guys could play like sort of a war game and put some dye in there, some food coloring.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that as a
when
kid.
you're getting hit.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing white shirts.
Some of the Nerf gun stuff out there is just insane. No, the Gatling gun, that's just like so cool.
All right, guys, that's our show. On behalf of EVB Joe, on behalf of Alex Haney and Showtime Shane, I am Canada F and Dry, and I just want to remind you that sometimes in life, it's not always flowers and roses. It's really hard sometimes, and depression hits you. And I just want to let you know it's okay to be down. It's not okay to stay down. So reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, reach out to us, and we'll help you get back upon your feet. And you can put one foot in front of the other, and put the devil in a sharpshooter, and just keep fighting.
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, fnwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.
This is the end credit scene where you wait at the movie theater for like the special moment and the special reveal. So I'm going to ask Alex Haney to tell the special reveal.
The special reveal is JFB is coming back soon.
And Caleb, you're still my slave until next Friday.
Butler, sir.
I'm sorry.